Welcome back to another edition of What's to Play podcast, but this is now called Traits Triumph with me, Brian, sports fan, the legend himself. We are here with our first mock draft. I don't know if you guys remember, but we had draft content earlier in the month of February. We recorded our second episode, unfortunately, where we debuted our name. Unfortunately, that footage got corrupted. The audio was messed up. So we're here with our mock draft. This is the second episode of Traits Triumph for you all with the new name. Before we even get into the content, we'd be remiss not to mention that by the time that this comes out, we'll have a 24-year-old member of Traits Triumph. So let's clap it up. Happy birthday to SportsFan. He's turning 24 at the end of this week.
Why'd you say it? You saying I'm 24. You don't have to say it no more, please.
Kobe year. My bad. You know what? It's making you feel old. My fault. So, yeah. And then Brian's right after him. So, they just... the hits keep coming, man. But me, I'm just down here at 22. But it's cool to have older friends, guys. You guys should think about doing it. But yeah. So what we're gonna do for you guys today, we have a mock draft, our mock draft 1.0, post combine / pre combine, because we kind of had this plan before the combine. But we're gonna do it after the combine using these results, of course. We put together our own individual draft boards. Brian was great enough to do the math he used all 3 draft boards, combined them into one. So we're going to have that for you all as well. And how we decided the order is SportsFan has the first pick. I have the second pick. Brian has the third pick. And we're going to keep going like that. So SportsFan has first. He'll have 4th, 7th, 10th, so on and so forth. You guys are good at math. And so, yeah, let's get into it. Before we even start the draft, we're operating under the assumption that Justin Fields is traded. And we decided to go with who his betting favorite currently is, the Atlanta Falcons. And since Justin Fields would land with the Falcons in this hypothetical scenario, Kirk Cousins goes back to Minnesota instead of the rumors that he is going to the Falcons. By the time this comes out, something could totally change, but it's simply just a mock draft. It's not meant to be too serious. We will also, for the first mock draft, we will not have any trades for this one in particular. The 2.0 and the 3.0 probably will definitely have trades. But just for this one, we just wanted to get started off nice and easy. So let's get started. SportsFan has the first pick. The Chicago Bears are on the clock.
Okay. All right. Let's make this shit work. All right. Got it, Brian. Okay. Feel like, leading up to this point, there's been a lot of debate back and forth on no matter where you go to YouTube, Twitter, ESPN, any sports talk show, they've been talking about this pick and the debate. Me personally, I feel like it's been decided ever since the Panthers been stinky and they had that first pick, gave it straight to the Bears. It's kind of crazy not to just take Caleb Williams to keep it simple. I have heard some things that the Commanders might try to trade up, and I believe at the end of the day, it's going to come down to, I know with Magic Johnson and Cliff and all that other stuff and the new front office they have, I believe it's going to end up coming down to the Bears going to have to say no to an offer that the Commanders will probably give. They have to decide, is it worth going down to 2 and taking maybe another quarterback, or is Caleb Williams worth what they're offering? Is he worth more than what they're offering? And at the end of the day, I believe he is. He's, head and shoulders above the other QBs in this class, and on a team that's really just a QB and a few other pieces away from really competing. They weren't too far out of the playoff picture this year when Justin Fields missed a lot of games. So I'm going to just, start this draft and keep it simple. Take Caleb Williams with number 1 pick, and we'll go from there.
All right. I'm on the clock as the Washington Commanders. I forgot to mention this before we started, but this is not predict the pick. This will be a what we would do mock draft. We're going to try to keep it slightly realistic, of course, because if I end up having the Dolphins, I don't know if I have a team like the Dolphins. But I'm not a Tua fan. I'm not going to draft a quarterback because that's not really realistic. So we're going to do We Are the GMs realistically, all right? So with the second pick, the Washington Commanders, like SportsFan said, we tried to call. They kept saying no. We called last night, asked them to go on a date. They said no. We called again this morning. They said no. And we called right before the draft started. They said no. We decided to take Drake May out of UNC for the Washington Commanders, pairing him up with his college best friend, Sam Howell. nice healthy QB competition that Drake May would likely win. But I think everything will go well. This, like I said, this isn't predict the pick. I think a lot of people are. I think it's about 50-50 on Twitter with who people think the Commanders are going to take. But I'm gonna go with Drake May here because I feel like he's the better option over Jaden Daniels.
All right.
Yeah, can't go wrong with that.
With the third pick, the New England Patriots. This is probably where most people think that the draft starts. Um,
I would
I
agree.
I think that this pick will be really dependent on the direction that Gerard Mayo and the Patriots are looking at. Whether this is a long rebuild or this is something where they're trying to compete right away. I could see them potentially going after pursuing Russell Wilson. Um, Even with that being the case, though, I think that they feel like they will need a long term answer at the signal caller because Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi won't be cutting it. So for this draft, I will be taking Jaden Daniels from LSU as the pick for the New England Patriots.
Mm. You almost ruined
Yeah.
sports fans' night. If you would have taken that
To be
underneath.
honest,
I was thinking
you
about it. I
take
was like, eh.
Marvin's. It's not Marvin's. Honestly, not a bad pick. Just but based on where as a draft pick itself, Marvin or Jaden, I think either way you're making a good pick. But just roster wise, for the rest of the Patriots, that team is really bad. So if you don't take a QB, I feel like you almost just have to trade down just to get value for that pick.
Yeah.
So it's it's good that you got Jaden, and then you're able to kind of build out from there. You got a QB, then you can see what's next. Um,
But at the same time, if I'm the Patriots, unless the Giants are trying to move up from six, I think the most teams who are calling are probably calling to try to move ahead of the Giants because 4 and 5 aren't really any quarterback destinations. Most of the teams that are calling would be moving ahead of the Giants. But if I'm the Patriots, I don't know if I want to move back too far to avoid missing out on the top level talent because this roster is really void of Pro Bowl level, All Pro level players, and then you got Mr. Marvin Harrison sitting right there. You almost have to take it's almost either quarterback or generational receiver. So I think that's what they're trying to do there.
So I would
uh,
say if they take Marvin Harrison Jr., I think that's a situation where we probably expect um, the Giants to at least make a call to Arizona for number 4, since Jaden Daniels is still on that board. Probably have a few other teams like the Broncos and the Vikings as well. But so that is why pick 3 is very interesting going forward for people to look at.
I don't think it's just the Giants. I feel like all these QB needy teams in this pack right here, 11, 12, 13, it could be 14. They could all
Yeah,
trade up to QB if Jaden Daniels still there at 4. Shit, they all can call and trade up to 3. But I think the Giants probably the best chance of trading up for either of these picks, just due to they're the closest to it. They require less draft capital. And they probably just have to trade some picks. I'm not sure what players they could even include in a trade that would make that happen, like the Panthers did a year back.
yeah, I think it would be
Um,
pick space because yeah, I'm not sure who we're
it would even be worth
because we
trading
definitely
for.
because we can't trade like an offensive lineman or something like that because it would be even worse than we already are. So I
Yeah,
don't even know.
but I feel like this top three is kind of expected. I think once we get to about pick 6, I think something interesting is going to happen. But
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see
Mm.
what he think.
Brian gonna tweak.
Um,
I will probably tweet because I know who's
Brian
going
OC
5.
gonna crash out. He gonna take Michael Penix at number 6. Oh man, Lord,
uh,
please, our credibility.
It won't be that crazy, but okay.
Let me go ahead and mark Marvin Harrison off my draft board because we don't know. Go
you
ahead. Oh, go
should.
ahead.
Not too much to talk about. I feel like this pick has been slotted since we did the trade draft night last year, and then we had the Texans in our pick. So like, we knew at some point we was gonna get Marvin. I didn't know this is how it was gonna come down to where we end up at 4 and still able to get Marvin, but I feel like this is the best player available for a team that really needs a wide receiver on the outside, starting number 1 wide receiver. So I think it's a good pick. Just to make note, if I wouldn't be surprised if Marvin goes at 3, that we end up taking Rome or Malik. That's how bad we kind of need a wide receiver and how much we like this wide receiver class, based on what I've been hearing from Cardinals reporters and Cardinals beat writers. So I wouldn't be surprised. So I think we're gonna take the best receiver available no matter what at this point. and we'll probably take Marvin Harrison Jr. And then the Chargers at 9 o'clock, and I shoot Mingles.
All right, I tried to stick by my draft board, but I can't really justify to myself taking a tight end at number 5. Brock Bowers is the third player on my board though, but I just cannot justify it. I do think that this is a prime spot where you may potentially see a trade back if the Chargers aren't in love with one of these receivers and they actually do like Brock. I think they could trade down to maybe like 11, 12, 13, 14 and still potentially get him. Um, so if I'm here at 5 making the pick, we were talking about the receivers in the last episode that didn't get published, and the conversation between Malik and Rome. I mean, you ask a different team each day, and I think you'll have a different 2 from all of them. But for the Chargers specifically, I think Malik should be their wide receiver 2, just because they need some juice in that offense, some speed. Um,
Yeah,
Rome has the downfield deep threat ability, but he's pretty similar in play style to the receivers they currently have on the roster.
yeah,
Um, he's better than them, but you don't want to have too many of the same
same.
club in the golf bag. So I'm gonna go with Malik Neighbors here. He adds real 4-3, 4-2 level speed to this offense, and this is what they desperately need with that strong arm quarterback. Ignoring the Jim Harbaugh offense, of course, because this is my
Yeah,
team.
that's the one thing I'm thinking as we get closer to the draft, we'll probably have to consider more. Every Greg Roman report that's saying he wants to make sure Justin Herbert gets a running game for the first time in his career. Every report referring to what Jim has done in the past with multiple offices in NFL and college where he just runs the shit out the ball. So going forward, I'm not even sure. I'm sure by like as more well connected sources to the NFL in the draft, like the other reporters, they'll probably start penciling in Joe Alt just so they can have that O line that they can run the
Yeah,
ball almost
that's what
20,
that's what I'm
30.
thinking is most likely going to
But at
be.
the same time, if I'm them, I don't want to take a no offense to Joe Alt, but I don't want to take a left tackle, convert it to right tackle. I mean, he's probably the best tackle in the class, but he would have to move to right tackle, and then that's simply not as easy of a transition as we. I mean, you've seen it multiple
You see
times
that with
that
the
it
16 with
hasn't
the
worked
16 on
out
the
well.
board right now.
This class actually has multiple good right tackles to where I think that if they want to take a tackle, I think they should trade back. And then you have Fuaga there. And then you have J.C. Latham. I like Latham out of Alabama. He might move up my big board once I do this again. But
Mims is
you
a
have these
Mims is
actual
a good
right tackles.
cornerback.
I think one of the draft people had J.C. Latham going 5 to the Chargers. So I really wouldn't be surprised that if they really fall in love with O line, they try to lock it in on the right side with somebody who has experience on the right side and get
Yeah,
value. Get value and moving back because somebody could trade up for whoever's there at 5, receiver, tackle, quarterback if they fall. You never know.
yeah. I saw. Who was that today? Was that I can't remember if it was Jordan Reed or the guy in the Athletic, Dane Boogler, but I want to say one of them had the Bears trading up to like 5, or I think 5 to get Rome or 6 to get Rome. So
I
it's
don't
not
think
out.
I don't think they get him if they stay at 9. And I think
Yeah,
they want to
Yeah,
pair
they
up
would have
pair.
to. Yeah, they'd have to trade up.
They not. I don't think they getting them. I mean, we'll see how this draft. Depending on how this draft goes here, maybe they get him at 9. But Brian's on the clock. What you doing here, Brian?
All right, so
Go on. What's your thought process
so
as the
as
Giants?
the resident Giants fan, what you
so it
thinking?
definitely hurts for the Chargers not to take Joe up there because Malik we would have ran up to the podium with Malik Neighbors card for sure. Honestly, if this happens in real life, I think this might be a prime place where we look to trade back, maybe to that 9th spot or that 10th spot, because there are 3 offensive tackles that I feel are top 10 worthy. It would also be dependent on what we do in free agency, because I think if we can get a Robert Hunt or a Mike Onwenu, I believe that's how you pronounce his name for the Patriots, as
Mm,
like one of the guards, I think it makes it a little bit more palatable for you to potentially do the move Evan Neal inside the guard thing, but even then it's a little questionable. So
So
I
you're thinking about trading back to 9, or are you thinking about drafting?
So the thought, so I'm a draft because we can't trade, but the thought would be like trading back to 9 or 10, ideally, potentially, depending on how we feel about the offensive line, because there are three offensive tackles sitting right there that you could probably still get at 10, unless say Atlanta surprises me.
Nah,
So
it's for these guys right here, man.
there's a
This is a
lot of about to
crazy.
say there's a lot of depth on offensive line, and there's a lot of depth at receiver. But I feel like for this team in specifically, as JG would always say while we were talking about the season, this team has like basically what like 4 or 5 different slot receivers, and not a really like not a real wide receiver one that has that type of build. So in this situation, and we've already talked about how Rome and Malik are almost like two A and 2B. So for
Right.
me in this situation, if I can't trade down, um, I would go ahead and take Rome Odunze from Washington, solidify that wide receiver one.
3 QBs, 3 receivers.
Yeah, that's it sounds crazy when you say it out loud, but that's what a lot of people
And
have been
then look,
reporting that has a good chance of happening.
3 QBs, 3 receivers, 3 tackles. You never know. That could be the composition of these first 9 picks
Yeah,
and whatever. But I think the Giants are actually one of those teams who could potentially have Rome as their wide receiver too.
yeah,
Um, Simply because what you mentioned, the Giants have been throwing out a bunch of slot receivers for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
They haven't had that one true guy who can actually win on the outside, and Malik can do that. But Rome also provides you that same thing in a bigger body. And the Giants, I mean, even if you have Malik as your true outside receiver, your starting 3 receivers probably Darius Slayton is your one big body threat who can go down the field. I think they probably need that big body threat who can not only stretch the field but can also get the contested catches 1-on-1. He says it's 100-0 ball for him. It's just him and the ball. That's what Rome said at the combine. Love that quote from him. We had some good quotes at the combine. I want to talk Drake May. I'll talk about that a little later. He talking about you want a game plan with me, not against me. That's a bar. But Rome, I think that's the Giants probably one of those teams who have him wide receiver too, just because he's that more obvious, outside guy for them.
That makes sense. That makes sense. I kind of like how all these picks shaping up. Like Brian said, I would agree. I think the Giants probably might look to trade down, but with Rome right there, and you're still needing the outside receiver one because the receivers you draft over years and the free agent you try to bring in didn't really work. I think it's finally time to get a real 6'3", 4'4" speed, route running, like a serious receiver on the outside. Even if he don't hit the heights of his comparisons that I'm seeing so far, I've now seen Larry Fitzgerald and Devontae Adams. Um, Even don't hit to those heights, I feel like he's still gonna be better than everybody else they had in the room last year. So gives whatever QB they bring in, or QB that they have next year a chance, especially going forward after next year. Based on the reports I've been hearing, the QB they have right now on the roster won't be there much longer. So gotta have a wide receiver of the future. 5th year, probably pick up the 5th year option, have 5 years. Uh, Cost control, wide receiver one. You can't go wrong with that. And then it's me, right? Titans on the clock.
yeah. One more thing for you go at 7 to
There you go.
address that last point. Yeah, this would be like the final like okay we got you a bona fide one that can win on the outside that you have to throw the ball deep to, and as Chris said, believes that every pass is a 100-0. So if you're hesitant and you're not willing to throw him the football, then we got to get you out of here for sure.
But we saw this type of receiver with Daniel Jones. Well, not this type of receiver, but the contested catch receiver. We saw one of those already with Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
He didn't throw. The difference is Rome can actually run routes and get open. But at the same time, do you want to draft Rome if you're still not going to give him those, one-on-one opportunities? Because that is something he is very good at. If he's one-on-one with somebody, like he said, it's 100-0, not 50-50 for him. But if he wasn't able to even throw 50-50 balls to Kenny Galladay when he was there, Kenny Galladay wasn't a great route runner, but we knew what he was in Detroit. He was a contested catch receiver. You just throw the ball up to him, give him a chance. Daniel Jones didn't throw it up to him and give him a chance. Because in Daniel Jones' mind, if you're not wide open, you can't get the ball from me. So, this is probably only one more year for the Giants with Daniel Jones. Maybe they take a QB in the second round, though.
For sure. Um, Now with the Titans, this roster is almost kind of for where they're picking. This roster is even more ass than you probably think. Um, Cornerback room, DBs need some help. Wide receiver room. I don't want to say bro is a bust already, but dude they picked to replace AJ Brown ain't it. I'm not even gonna say his name. He don't deserve that right now. It's
Wow.
just it's rough. Will Levis looked fine. D Hop looked okay. I'm not sure. Does D Hop another year left or is he a free agent? I can't remember.
I think he's
I
a free
thought he
agent.
was on their
I don't think
payroll.
they gave him a 2 year deal.
Okay, well then
Good for him.
if one of the receivers are here, they probably draft them, but they're not here no more. The top, three. And I feel like it's too early to start reaching on these guys here. I feel like it's way too early.
Yeah.
You think it's I don't know. I think Brian Thomas might soar up some people's boards, but
I feel like Brian Thomas probably gets somewhere drafted in here in this range. If you get drafted in the top 10, boy, then we got to have a conversation about the
I think
historic
if
wide
Brian
receiver.
Thomas was in a previous class, he could be a. I think he would be a discussed as a potential top 10 pick.
Oh, for sure,
No, so
for
you were
sure.
right, JG. So it is a 2 year deal, but they have an out this year if they want to
They have it
exercise
out.
that.
They can cut him. They probably won't, because I mean, who else gonna play receiver?
Yeah.
You just handicapping.
And they probably
Will
would have done it by now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably would announce it. Yeah, this week. Especially before free agent starts. What Monday? Yeah, starts Monday, and then uh, contracts can be agreed to Wednesday. Players can be talked to Monday.
Man.
Um, just looking at this, I feel like it lines up perfectly for them to take Joe. They still need help on that O line. They
Yeah.
drafted was
Skoronski.
yeah, Swarovski last year. It's from all reports. I mean, he wasn't elite at all, but he seemed like exactly what they expected at guard. So just going to keep building out that O line. Um, Keep it going forward. Nice and simple. Take the best tackle prospect that people been saying they've seen in years. Joel, for a man that size, he moved really well at the combine. I believe he's what 6'8". Let me see. I'm pretty sure I can see it right
Like
here.
6'8" 3/4, I believe.
Yeah, that's just
And
insane. Yes,
321.
yeah.
Yeah, that's too. Never mind.
21 years old. That's abnormal. You lock that down with Peter Sharonsky, and you got a pretty good side of an O line. Probably figure out the rest because I saw towards the end of the season, Will Levis is getting RKO'd and knocked the fuck out in the backfield. It was looking a little crazy towards the end. I was just tuning the games. He will hike the ball, and before he can even like his receivers can do something because none of the receivers get anyway, so it took a little time for him to get open. He was already getting smacked into the ground. So
Mm.
I think Joe Alt really helps where they're at right now. Just build a solid team. That team is gonna. They have a long way to go, but this is a good start.
I think at number 8, I think we might have our first surprise. Maybe
Hmm.
not even really a surprise, just based off the combine this man had. But
Hmm.
I mean, just going off my draft board, it's maybe a bit of a reach. But this is my new number 1 cornerback in the draft.
Mm.
After the performance he put up at the combine and the coverage skills he showed off at the Senior Bowl, what I think SportsFan said in the group chat, fast and strong. I don't know. Kenyon Mitchell, man, Atlanta, pair
Wow.
him with Terrell. I was torn between Kenyon Mitchell and going edge, but I decided to go with the. I felt like Kenyon's probably a higher upside player than the edge rushers in this class.
So I see the
I,
vision
I
there.
can't
Because I
be
was
mad at
thinking you
that.
could probably go corner, but
It's
I was thinking
combine.
you were probably going to try to go Latu there just because of the defense.
That's my boy. I really considered it, but Kenyon, my draft board will be edited because I'm already moved him up a little bit. He's gonna have to get moved up a little more. I like what I've seen. 4.33 shocked me.
Yeah, I knew he was fast, but I didn't know he was that fast. That's different.
Ain't know he was that strong either. 20 reps on the
Dudes
bench.
yeah, he's built different, especially for a guy that went to Toledo. I'm not sure how he ended up Toledo. His name really stands out among all these other QB prospects. They go to school. They're going to schools that have recently put out known cornerback prospects. You got
Yeah.
Iowa, you got Alabama, you got Clemson. They're known for putting out cornerback prospects, and you just got Queen Mitchell here out of Toledo just roughing out 20 at 225 at 200 pounds, 6 foot, running a 4.31, well 4.33. Yeah, that's just a different breed, and I feel like he's not even going to be expected to really be a QB, not a QB, a cornerback one off the rip. Who knows what he can be down the line? But you come in, you're locking down a wide receiver twos while AJ Terrell can focus on the wide receiver ones. That's a cornerback room built for the future, and it really gives Raheem Morris a good base to have. This that's probably better. He already has a better DB room than he had the last few years. He was okay. I'm not sure it was Ramsey was still on the team when he scored in 2 years ago, but
Yeah.
But he didn't have
even
nobody
still,
with
it
Ramsey.
was
He was moving Ramsey around to hide like a lot of the inefficiencies of the people around him. But you mentioned Raheem Morris, defensive coach. So if it's not quarterback, I feel like they're definitely going defense. And Raheem Morris I believe he has a defensive back coach background. So I
Yeah.
think this really, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the direction that they go.
Okay. So we have the Bears at 9. So Latu and Dallas Turner are both here. So this would be. I could see this being a position because they have Matt Eberflus as their head coach, where they go edge, to pair somebody up with Montez Sweat.
hmm
But I think they might value the offensive line just a little bit more than the edge because they have that bona fide guy in Montez Sweat. So for that reason, um, I think they go ahead and they go offensive tackle. Um, and I think they go ahead and take Olufushanu out of Penn State.
Ooh. I was wondering how far he was going to slide because I knew the team next was definitely going to take him.
They're definitely taking a
So
tackle. Yeah, that's what I'm like.
I don't think the Bears go line though. Tackle.
You think they looking interior?
Yeah, unless they're planning on moving one of their offensive tackles inside, I think Braxton Jones, I believe his name is, has been solid enough to where that defensive line hole probably makes it um, more significant to upgrade. But Olu is a top prospect, so if he falls this far, I could see them convincing themselves on it.
Could you see
yeah,
them
just
potentially moving Olu inside?
nah, they wouldn't do that. I
Okay.
No, I
think
don't think so. I don't think he's as good of a mover. I don't remember. I don't know how he did at the combine. I think he got hurt.
Yeah, I think he did a
I
little
feel
bit.
like
It
he's
wasn't nothing
too
crazy.
6'6", 319. I mean, I guess in theory anybody can move in guard, but he's been playing left tackle for the past
Yeah.
three
But he hasn't
years.
played
So
any other positions, yeah, so
Hmm.
not a bad pick. It's just I feel like they wish one of the wide receivers was here, and I feel like it's
yeah,
too
for
early
sure.
to reach
For sure.
one of the other ones. They probably still need an interior D line. They could have went Byron Mitchell, but I'm not sure if he's ninth pick material. I
Yeah.
know Newland's not, and then after that, it's nobody else is really the option that high. They could have drafted Jervis, like you said, but depends. That defense actually looked pretty decent last year. I know the O line had some issues, so I'm not mad at that pick.
Yeah. I think that might be one, like we said before, to where they probably try to trade up to 5 or 6 to go get a receiver. And then like if you were to trade with say the Chargers, then maybe the Chargers go ahead and take a tackle at 9 and it doesn't look as crazy on the board, but since we're not doing any trades, Olu to the Bears might look a little crazy.
Yeah. Um, Jets on the clock. I feel like it seems simple enough. They probably just take the best tackle prospect that's available to protect Aaron Rodgers some more.
Yeah.
But at the same time, since they let Aaron Rodgers have so much control on that team, who knows? They might draft a receiver just because if A Rod says let's get a receiver. But I feel like
Either that or they
the
might
best.
go tight end. I know that might be crazy, but
It's not. It's just I, I'm sure people are watching like, damn, when is Brock Bowers gonna get drafted? But I feel like we all kind of agree that tight end isn't as a valuable as a position as other positions on the team.
yeah.
I feel like he can be viewed as a slot receiver, but even still, I wouldn't say he's a lead blocker. So it's hard for me to really picture where a team could draft him over other more key positions. Uh, They could draft him. I feel like at this point, yeah, instead of receiver, they would go tight end. But I'm not sure how he fits in this offense.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what to call this offense. It's more so whatever Aaron Rodgers wanted. And when Aaron Rodgers went down four plays in the season, that pretty much was it. As more reports came out, it basically was whenever Aaron wanted, and when Aaron went down, shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
So, but to get off that point, they probably take a tackle. I feel you can't go wrong with any of these top four names here, to be honest with you. I'm trying to decide, is Mekhi Becton even still playing football? Does it?
That's a good question.
He played most of last year.
Yeah,
But
but when
I don't know his contract
Who's
status.
their left tackle?
I don't think he's being left tackle, left tackle, left tackle.
Because I
About to
don't
be
think
David Murray,
I
I
don't think
think.
Dwayne Brown's
But
still playing, is he?
it was Dwayne Brown, I believe.
I'm looking right now,
But Mekhi
left
Becton
tackle.
played, but
Is this?
nothing
Hold up, is this real?
factors into their long term plans.
I I was not aware of this. Is this updated? Hold on. Before I say, I want to make sure this is right. Mekhi Becton got drafted in what year?
2020?
2020.
2020. Okay.
So out.
Oh yeah, he was the same year as Andrew. My bad.
Is he a free agent? Or am I tripping?
No, he should
Uh,
be. Unless
he
they
is
didn't
a
pick up
free
his option, he should
his
be.
fourth year. They definitely didn't pick up that option.
Yeah, they couldn't pick that up. He barely played yet. So this is his fourth year. Yeesh.
So there's right
Okay. I'm looking right now, based going into not this season, but the next season.
Mm-hmm.
Every left tackle they have on the roster is going to be a free agent,
Wow.
which
That's
is
what's up.
they move Elijah Vera Tucker to right tackle.
No.
That must be a projection.
They got
That's
Joe
probably
Tippmann at right guard and Connor McGovern at center.
them placing people because there's no tackles under contract.
Yeah.
Because Vera Tucker played all season at guard until he got hurt.
Where was Joe Tippmann at?
He was center, wasn't he? Or was he?
I believe. I thought he was a
They got
center.
they got Connor McGovern at center. I'm looking at
So I
our
think Joe
labs
was
right
coming
now.
All
off the
three of
bench then
them.
if Connor was starting.
Shit. Yeah, I'm just gonna take the
Then
best
they
tackle
just
and
cut what's his name? Laken Tomlinson. They just cut him, didn't they?
they sure did. He was the left guard, right?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
they could
crazy.
move. I think you could move
And
McGovern to
Vera
guard if
Tucker
I'm not
probably the
mistaken.
guards. They need offensive line help everywhere. So
Yeah.
Yeah, just take the best kind of alignment prospect available, and I feel like it is. Oh, I don't want to mess up his name. Hold up now. Talise Fulaga? Did I say that right? I feel like I was close.
yeah.
Close enough. The Oregon State product. Think between him and Troy, I feel like it's almost 50-50 on which tackle they like a little more. Of course, J.C. Latham has gotten up a lot recently. He even went to 5, like Mingo said, in one of them recent mock drafts we saw. But I'm just gonna keep it simple for now and go with Talise. Won't be surprised if they take one of these other names too, especially Mims. I've been hearing a lot of things about him, but they might feel like he's too similar to what they had in Mekhi back then. They
Yeah.
don't want to do that again. So gonna go with, especially because he didn't play a lot of games. He missed a few games. So gonna take Fulaga. Then we can go to pick 11. I feel like there's something that can happen at this pick, but I'm not sure if Mingles have the guts to do it.
It's certainly not happening because I'm the GM. So I've ignored quarterback. I'm torn between 3 position groups here. I'm looking at DB. I'm looking at edge rusher, and I'm looking at interior defender. I don't value edge rusher as much if I'm the Falcons, as long as Brian Flores is still employed by my team, just because his defense is so blitz heavy that no one edge rusher can have as much of an impact on the game as they would in other defenses because you blitz so much. So a lot of this is created pressure, not the actual skill of the edge rusher. So I'm going to eliminate edge rusher there. So now I'm torn between defensive lineman, defensive back. I look at the corners. You got Nate Wiggins, you got Cooper DeJean, who offers the versatility, but they have a lot of corners there already with a lot of versatility. Byron Murphy can play slot inside. They got I think his name is Blackman, who's still young, but he's been good on the outside. I think he has some inside ability as well. So I'm torn between Nate Wiggins and then Byron Murphy the second. And just for the memes, just get two Byron Murphys on the same team. Let's send them there. And they need interior. I mean, this is a need at the end of the day. They need interior defensive line.
They sure do.
And they might be losing to Neil Hunter. I know he's an edge, but losing him, you're probably going to want some interior line pressure if you're not going to get anything from the edges.
Yeah. Byron Murphy Jr., meet Byron Murphy the second.
Works out perfectly, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's got to happen.
Yeah. So I'm sure the Broncos are ecstatic at this point, seeing that the Vikings decided not to go quarterback here. With the way Sean Payton is, I feel like he feels like a guy like J.J. McCarthy would just be like perfect for his offense, just because he's a guy that's going to be able to improvise if necessary, but he's going to be more of a precision guy for the most part. So I think Sean Payton's probably running with the card at this point to the podium, and they're taking J.J. McCarthy at 12.
But this is you. Is that what you want, Brian? Are you making the pick for your head coach? Is that what you're going to do as a general manager? You're just gonna let him make the pick for you?
Because is getting paid, I might need to.
Is JJ the highest QB on your board right now, Brian?
You said what?
Is JJ the highest QB on your board?
He is my QB4.
Oh, he changed it.
Look at you. So you making this pick, JJ?
Yeah, JJ McCarthy at 12.
Man,
let's get it.
I hate when people do their work. Good gracious, I thought I had him.
The crash out so bad. This is crazy.
Oh, man. Oh well.
I have to agree. I feel like if JJ slides to 12, which the rumors we've been hearing, he might go top 10. I'm not even sure how to project some shit like that right now. But
he probably would have been gone if we did trades, but
based on everything Sean Payton has kind of done on the offensive side, even with Drew or Teddy or Jameis, any of them quarterbacks, I feel like JJ can kind of do what them other quarterbacks can do well. He won't be some elite, talent raiser, but what Brock Purdy and other QBs like in that mode has done, just being a good point guard type quarterback, just get it to where the head coach wants it and keep it simple. That's why Russ didn't really fit that offense well because he's never been that type of quarterback. He's been kind of more of a let the play develop, try to see if something's there, make it happen, and that drew Sean Payton wild. So that didn't happen at all, and that's why Russ just got cut. What, yesterday?
Yeah.
85 million dead cap over the next 2 seasons. Well, combined, of course.
Good thing that salary cap made that exponential leap.
Made that leap. I think. Speaking of that trade, that might be the worst trade of all time because they traded all them picks, and then they also gave him an extension immediately without even seeing if he was still good or not. I still didn't really understand,
which is insane.
But yeah, insane. But hey, man, that man Russ about to get the vet minimum and still get paid a nice amount from another team. So can't be mad at that. Now, Raiders on the clock. Now I'm just looking at based on value, right? We're at pick 13. I'm looking at these top 2 guys, Brock Burrs and Cooper DeJean. I don't feel like they'll take a tight end because they took Michael Mayer last year, so I don't think they'll take a tight end. Cooper DeJean, that's interesting, right? I feel like that fits what they have on defensively, just as a mindset. It's the way they play defense, especially when Josh, what's his last name? Is it McDaniels? Yeah, once he got the hell out of there, they voted versus him and got him out of there. They gotta what's that one what that Suns owner said?
You can't say that.
These need and they gotta. So
yeah.
But the problem is Cooper DeJean is not a. So I don't know if they make that pick.
I mean, if it's a speed thing, I mean Nate Wiggins is sitting right there.
That's what I'm saying. I think for their defense, they probably like Tyrion Arnold.
Yeah.
Nate Wiggins, he's fast, but like he's almost like historically. This is not his real. Hold up, now I gotta go pull it up.
He's 173 according to the Cowboys.
To say, hold on, that's clearly not.
I think they have it was 185 on NFL Network too. Oh no, they updated it. Okay.
Hmm.
173. Yeah, I don't feel like that's what they're looking for. They want somebody with some size. And Terry Arnold, he's a technician. He's been compared to Jalen Johnson. He didn't run, the fastest 40, but for what they're looking for, I feel like he matches that really well. He ain't even turned 21 yet, so I
There
feel like
you
they're
go.
matching what they're looking for. I'm not gonna lie. I was looking at the spec and I thought about Michael Penix. I was like, would they do it? Or Bo Nix? Because when I look at their
Not this
quarterback room,
early. I feel
yeah,
like
but
this is like solidly gonna be an Antonio Pierce pick, and I don't think unless like they feel like they can trade up and get Jaden Daniels, they're gonna look at a quarterback at this point.
the only problem is don't feel like that Aiden O'Connell, Brian Hoyer QB room is crazy. Um,
Better make that run at
Anthony
Russ.
Brown Jr. Yeah, this shit's stinky. Yeah, just based on value, I think Terry Arnold's the pick here. I wouldn't be surprised if they take any of the quarterbacks remaining. Or they might trade up late in the draft because I don't know if Michael Penix will last that long.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, who knows? There is a team that could draft a QB. Nah, none of the teams on there would do it, but they could trade up and do it. I might need to look at Drew Brees' contract. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Terry Arnold. Feel like that matches kind of what they need and what they want based on value. And then Mingles, you're up.
Ah, New Orleans Saints. They've done some cat magic again, so Derek Carr will be back, and it's very likely, well, it's a chance that he'll have a chance on making the roster again the season after as well. So I'm not going to consider quarterback this year. This may be a team that's bad enough to have a chance at the top quarterbacks next year who aren't that inspiring, but it is what it is. I think for the Saints, I'm looking at the edge position, and he's fallen far enough. Um, he's able to learn from Cam Jordan, who needs to go on his retirement tour soon. But Leatu Latu, UCLA edge rusher from the Saints, if he actually falls to me, if any of the top edge rushers fall to me, Dallas Turner, Leatu Latu, either of those two, you probably got to sprint the card in.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take Leatu Latu.
Where is he? Oh, here he is. Cameron Jordan's still on that team, huh?
Yeah.
Of course, legacy.
It's before we get to the next pick, and Brian, the picks for the Colts. The Saints, man, they kind of, most teams would have tried to move out of the hole they dug out, just cut their losses, but they just keep doubling down, and they just keep getting this roster somehow young but really old at the same time. It's kind of impressive. Uh, Alvin
Mm,
Kamara, Jamal Williams didn't even play last year. I think Jamal Williams got one touchdown, and I think he only got that touchdown because
Jameis.
Jameis made that happen, and he
Yeah.
took some backlash. So I mean, you still got Taysom Hill being Taysom Hill. Olave just wasting away.
Yeah.
Uh, is it Tashid or is it Rashid?
Rashid
Rashid.
Shaheed.
Yeah. Adam. No, Shaheed.
Rashid,
Shaheed. My
yeah,
bad. Adam Shaheed.
yeah, he's nice, but also being wasted. I mean, it's funny because Derek Carr didn't even have a terrible season, but you just know with Derek Carr is a certain ceiling that's that he just won't get over since his quotation mark MVP season. So I feel like Latu, he kind of gives them some edge pressure that they needed since Cameron's getting old and Marcus Davenport went to the Vikings. Good pick to me. I'm interested to see if they actually trade Marshawn Lattimore, like the rumors I've been hearing. They've
Mm-hmm.
been drafting corner pretty well recently, so it wouldn't exactly shock me. But I gotta actually see it happen before I believe it. But you can go ahead, Brian.
Okay. So, all right, this might be the point where I officially crash out. So for the
Down.
Colts, like JG said, for I think it was the Raiders, or
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think it was the Raiders. I'm looking at the top two guys because I think they could go corner here, especially since it looks like Kenny Moore is a free agent. They may be able to re-sign him though, and I'm looking at tight end. Apparently, they can get out of Mo Ali Cox's deal with no dead cap if they decided to cut him, but I feel like they would have already announced that they were going to do that. But I'm going. I feel like he's slid far enough on the board, and I also feel like this is a situation where you have a potential security blanket for Anthony Richardson. Um, I'm
Yeah.
I'm sure they would probably look receiver in this situation, or they would hope they may look to trade down. Well, it depends. It depends on how they read, because like a guy like an AD Mitchell or Brian Thomas Jr. might be somebody that they might be looking for, especially if they don't think they can keep Pittman long term. But since they just franchise tag Pittman, and I'm under the assumption they believe they can get a contract extension done at some point, I will end the slide for Brock Bowers, and he will be an Indianapolis Colt.
I love it. I love the guts. To be honest with you, I've been seeing this mocked recently a lot. I feel like this is the floor where how far he slides.
Yeah,
I don't know if he gets past the Colts. Um,
because I feel like at that point you're
kind of
probably
excited.
going best player available if you're the Colts. But I'm just like, that's why I had to look at the contracts first, because I didn't want to go tight end, and then it was like somebody had a 5-year deal or something. Because then at that point
I mean,
you're
but
not looking tight end.
none of them tight ends is stopping you from drafting Brock Bowers. If you ask me,
Yeah,
like they could have the craziest contract, but if they're not good, a reliable pass catcher is still a need for that team. You got Josh Downs, you got Michael Pittman on the tag. So I mean, a true tight
I
end
look at
who could work the slot. If you have a tight end who's already getting paid a decent amount of money, you add Brock Bowers and you can move him. You know what I mean? You don't have to keep him at that one single tight end position. You can move him around, outside receiver in the slot, playing tight end as well. So he gives you that ability to move him around,
and
and
you
that's
got a
what
guy
they
in Shane Steichen who
have.
would probably do that.
Yeah, I mean, of course, definitely. And like I said earlier, base is making a comeback. So, you're going to see a lot of two tight end sets anyway. So you need that. You need at least a decent number two. They don't even have a decent number one tight end. So I don't think there's anything stopping them from taking Brock.
Yeah. Okay.
in situations or when you want to run a read option or something like that, you end up with an offense that ends up with if you have like three receiver, one tight end, and a running back, you end up with Jonathan Taylor, Brock Bowers, Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, and Alec Pierce all on the field at the same time with Anthony Richardson.
Hmm.
That's an issue.
Mm.
That's a
Woo,
poor offense. So
woo, goodness
it's
gracious.
definitely step up where they were, man, like two
Woo!
seasons ago when
With
they
Shane
had Matt
Steichen
Ryan two
calling the
seasons ago.
shots,
Yeah.
oh my, they might go to the conference championship next year. Oh my goodness. Woo!
They went from Jacoby
AR5.
Brissett, Philip Rivers, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan to this. I mean,
Anthony
Man.
I guess
Richardson.
Colts fans
Mm.
been praying for this day since
Comeback player of the year
Andrew Luck retired.
potential CT.
Anthony Richardson fans been praying for this too. We just
Oh, okay.
Hey, he, as long as he don't have no excuses. See why you roll your eyes? That was so
My
sassy.
fault.
Oh,
Bad
Comeback
okay.
habit.
comeback
All
player of the year potential CT.
right. Hey, he got no excuses. That's all I asked for. I just asked for my quarterbacks to get good opportunities, to get
Mm.
realistic looks. He's in a real offense. He got a real offensive coordinator. I mean, his receivers aren't great, but he has Pittman. Pittman's a good enough receiver. Josh Downs is good enough. Alec Pierce,
He's a solid
but
wide receiver too to me.
no,
He's
that's
not
not true. That's not true. Alec Pierce is not good. But
he out there.
Anthony Richardson may make him look good. Anthony Richardson may be able to put that ball on him in the ways that Gardner Minshew probably wasn't. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it me now? Oh no, it's
It's
SportsFan.
yeah, about to say it's
Okay,
JG.
why'd
Yeah.
you little crazy sentence? So like
Hmm.
is it too early to get
Ah.
dinner?
Ah.
I don't believe so. But I wouldn't draft these. I'm looking at between Dallas Turner and Jared Verse. I feel like these guys have slid pretty far,
Yeah.
just based on value wise. I know they need an edge rusher still, because who is their best DN right now? They actually had a DN that did pretty well last year. I'm
It's
trying to
not
remember his
Draymond
name.
Jones. I'm trying to think, but I don't think it's him.
That's a
Am
big
I
cast.
Is it in
a couple years
Wosu
early?
or something
Is
like
it
that?
Nuwosu? Uchenna? Or am I tripping?
That's what I was
Say his
thinking.
name again.
Uchenna Nuwosu? Or is it Boye Mafe?
Oh yeah.
Yes, boy, he was good last year, and if they can, you know, get him a teammate on the other side with Dallas Turner or Jared Verse, I feel like
Hmm.
that really brings it to another level. Trying to decide which probably better matches their scheme. I'm pretty sure he's throwing a 4.3. You know, like Mingles was saying, base has been coming back a lot, and I feel like Dallas Turner. He's not as big as Jared Verse, if I remember correctly, but I feel like he can set an edge pretty damn well for his size.
Yeah,
Damn,
they
Jared
said his
Verse, man.
wingspan's pretty crazy from what we saw in the draft. He's like 40,
I'm
not 40
trying to
inches.
decide. Do I draft? Me personally like Dallas Turner more than Jared Verse, but at the same time, I like being right. So I want to see if I get this right.
Well,
I mean,
I'll ask you this.
knowing my luck, neither of these guys will even slide this far in the draft anyway. Who knows?
Yeah,
So I'm gonna go with Dallas Turner. I feel like I like him more than Jared Verse. He probably fits their defense more based on speed. They've been drafting a lot of guys just like to move and hit, and I feel like Dallas Turner is that guy. Really build that defense out. Bobby Wagner still probably come back to that team another year.
yeah.
Huh? Yeah, no complaints. They need a pass rusher. It fits what they kind of need. I was looking at Jackson Power Johnson. I know they need a center or maybe Ground
Yeah.
Barton because they've been saying he can play guard when he gets to the league. But don't feel like they would draft him at 16. They probably take Dallas Turner over them or Jared Verse. I'm gonna go with Dallas Turner.
Okay.
Now
My only
Migos on
question
the
to
clock.
you, JG, with them now having Mike McDonald, do you think they might move to a 3-4, or are you think it'll?
Mm,
I'm trying to remember the defense they ran. I'm not even sure. I mean, technically it was a 3-4, but from our memory, they didn't have they was they weren't in base a lot. Now I think about it. They would have three safeties
Mm,
with Kyle basically being almost a linebacker, also a slot, also a deep safety. But Marcus Williams and
Geno Stone.
yeah, Geno Stone, that's the three safeties. And then you'll have the 4D linemen. And then you have, Patrick Queen and
Roquan Smith.
Raquan Smith in the middle. So it's like technically they could maybe do a 3-4, but I don't think based on what I seen last year, I don't think he really cares really. As long as he get four D line, he feel like they can actually like put pressure on the quarterback. Because he had that last year with D tackle.
Justin
Justin,
Madubuike.
yeah,
I
man.
think that's how you
And he
pronounce it.
just got I think he just got tagged.
Yeah.
So that shows his value. So they want more, D line pressure like that. So he doesn't he blitzes like maybe Patrick Queen if they're fast or maybe something like that, but he kind of likes getting his own pressure from the D lineman and building his way out from that, having good coverage on the back end. So I'm gonna go with Dallas Turner, but I wouldn't be surprised though. Technically, they might be listed as a 3-4, but I feel like his defense won't change that much. It'll probably be mainly for down D lineman unless they going against a team that comes out in like two tight end and a fullback. But nobody really does that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you need more speed in the field to match. You're going, especially need in this division with the Rams, with the way they use motion, the way their wide receivers cross a lot, do crossing patterns, and then of course you got Shanahan, and we'll see what the Cardinals like this season, but still it's a lot of speed with Kyler and hopefully Marvin or Rome or wherever they draft. It's a lot of speed. And Trey McBride, he broke out last year, almost had 1,000 yards when he only started half the season. So, they gotta build up that defense to really match it. Cause the defense was really bad last year. I don't think people really know this. Cause, Seahawks kind of just was okay. They almost barely missed plus, but the defense is really bad down the stretch. So I'm going with Dallas Turner. But Mingles, you're on the clock.
all right, the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm really struggling.
Yeah.
I tried to stay true to my board here, but I'm not loving the fit with Leggett to Jacksonville. I'm not loving the pick. That's my wide receiver 4. But
You don't gotta stay that true to your board where you're saying.
all right, I'm true to it, man. So I think
Okay.
I'm gonna go with my wide receiver 5,
But are you
Brian.
looking at the screen?
Huh?
Are you serious? Like you don't want to at least think about this?
You don't want to.
Think
You want
about
to
what?
potentially get like an edge rusher or
You,
offensive
Nah,
lineman.
is my screen still sharing?
Yeah, it's still
yeah,
sharing.
You don't want to think
nah,
about this at all here?
nah.
Oh,
They
okay,
they're losing Calvin Ridley
okay.
likely, and Zay Jones is cool, but he can't stay healthy. Christian Kirk, cool, but
Revelation.
He's a slot
I,
receiver.
exactly. And I need that true outside guy that they was hoping Calvin really could be. I mean, I'm sure he can be somewhere, but it just didn't seem to work out in Jacksonville. I'm gonna go with my wide receiver 5 over my wide receiver 4 because I like Brian Thomas's ability to be that X immediately over Xavier Legette's. I'd like to see Xavier Legette in a situation where he could be moved around a little bit more. And I think Doug Peterson gets his wide receiver 2 as his X because Christian Kirk is still the number one option in the offense for the most part. You still got Evan Ingram at tight end. Then you add Brian Thomas. I think if you lose Calvin Ridley, this becomes something you immediately have to replace. I mean, I'm sure addressing defensive back is also a big need, but you got to go get a receiver if you don't address it in free agency because Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, and who? Exactly. Yeah, we don't know.
Yes,
I mean, it makes sense.
Jamal
Definitely
Agnew.
be.
Exactly. You said Jamal Agnew. They about to run 2 slots. Well, no, 3 slots because Evan Ingram is not a tight end. Yeah. Brian Thomas is a
You
need.
talking about the NFL record setter for receptions for a tight end?
Yeah, my dog, and I had him on my fantasy team, and I could
Other
not
one in
tell.
drag routes, man.
I could not
Man,
tell.
he I ain't never seen a man get about 5 to 8 catches, about 40 to 50 yards so much in my life.
He's
That
putting up
It
them
shit
was
was
Brees Hall
no
numbers, man.
touchdown. He had like 4 touchdowns the whole year, and waited to the end of the year to get all of them. What a guy!
W
he
trade.
flat.
All right, well, I think
He
Brian
better than
Thomas
Darren
is getting
Waller.
drafted, JB. Did you say CT?
Hold on.
He better than Darren Waller though.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's on the field at least. He's on the field, yeah, for sure.
He's still in the league. You know, Darren Waller about to retire.
Or not about to retire, or he is about to retire, or he's about to drop a rap album, or he's about to. Who knows? Who knows what he's doing?
If he
I don't know.
Pray,
retires,
pray,
then Brock Bowers at six is going to make me reevaluate some things. If he retires,
oh, you're not getting Brock Bowers at 6. They're not that crazy, man.
if Darren
New,
Waller
new,
retires, I'm not putting anything past this front office.
Hey,
new.
I didn't want to say it when you was on the clock, but it's a possibility. It's a possibility.
You know what? They could say like these receivers enough, but we do like Brock Bowers, and then yeah, it look a little crazy.
Yeah.
Don't let them think Brock Bowers is a receiver in the tight end's body. Oh man.
Oh no.
At least, but look, we're 2 months away. Almost, well, less than 2 months away now. You're mentally prepared, right?
I'm trying, but Brock Bowers, I don't think I can prepare for that. I need
Oh,
Darren Waller to say he's coming back.
that's a good football player.
He is, but we already talked
Isn't
about
that all that
what we
matters?
really need.
Isn't that what you want? A team of good football players.
On paper, yeah. In
Yeah,
reality, that
that's
is
all
on
you can really
paper.
ask for. Oh, who got Cincy?
All right, so Cincinnati on the board. Definitely looking at Cooper here, but because I'm not sure if they're bringing Jonah Williams back, there is going, and obviously you want to make sure that you protect Joe Burrow. I'm gonna go ahead and take J.C. Latham because as Christian said, you want to have a guy. You probably want to draft a guy that's played on the right side. So taking J.C. Latham for pick 18.
Ooh.
It's been rumored that Jonah Williams is probably out of there, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be a need.
And JC apparently met with the team like 3 days ago, so it's not a
Uh,
crazy pick.
You
uh
on it? You on it? Man.
that's a QB as a need, man.
I guess they don't think Matthew Stafford playing that much longer, man.
That's why they trade for. That's why they're going to trade for Samuel.
I don't want
Got
to
to
say
make
what
that.
I don't want to say
Huh?
what I'm going to say because that's not going to
They're going to make
deter. That's not going to deter a Sam Howell trade.
the Rams going to trade for Samuel Howell, so they don't need
Huh?
another quarterback.
Oh, you said it again.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sure the viewers heard me.
Huh.
Is 11 a free agent?
Carson,
Who?
yes,
So yeah,
you
he's
guys.
on the deterrent
You
list.
said 11. I'm like,
I didn't
wow,
want to say his
that was
name.
funny.
You know what I'm
Why?
saying? But because I was
No,
because I was
no, the way you asked.
contemplating if I was going to bring him up, and I was like, that's not. I don't think that's going to deter Sam Howell traded CT's mind. So
No, that was the way you asked that. That was top five because it took me a minute to think who 11 was. I'm thinking like this is some elite quarterback that I'm forgetting about.
Only
I
reason
forgot Wentz was on the
was
damn team.
only reason I knew is because I used the Rams yesterday. They being Madden 50-3.
Shout out to JB, man.
Yeah, shout out my dogs.
Nah, you saying the score is crazy.
I mean, I had to provide context for the viewers. They may have wondered.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. I hope you don't watch this because he's gonna really try to beat the shit out of you in Madden next time he play you.
Oh, but he's nah, the way he was playing. He had more interceptions than completions.
Hmm. Feel like this is a no brainer. Even though I see QB as an option, Stafford looked really good last year, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like he has two more seasons left, if not more. Uh, two is probably the minimum. He probably hit two, and then he rides off in the sunset, be a family man, and hopefully the Rams have a QB of the future somewhere in the plans. Um, Based on value and what the team needs I feel like Cooper DeJean is probably the best pick here.
Yep.
Um, Stop the slide here for him,
Mm.
and then we can see how they build out that defensive background because it's really crazy on paper. Like it's a bunch of they names like you know them, but you like damn these niggas made the playoffs last year. How did this happen? So I'm gonna take Cooper DeJean. That gives him, they could probably put him wherever they feel like they need the help more. He can play all positions in the defensive backfield, slot, outside, safety. It don't really matter. He done it all and done it pretty well. So if he's healthy enough towards the season, because I know he's a little hurt right now. But I'm gonna take Cooper DeJean, stop that slot for him, and then Mingles on the clock.
Team number
Uh,
20 is probably not happy to have this
Pittsburgh
happen.
Steelers. Got the Pittsburgh Steelers. Um, you look at the team needs that are on the screen there. They got a linebacker, center, and DB. Two of those I do not value as high in the first round as others may. So DB is probably the only one that I could really consider here. I almost considered going with big energy to replace Kenny Pickett, but
What did he say?
I decided against that, and I'm gonna take they got an aging Pat Peterson out there right now, so I'm gonna go with DB Nate Wiggins.
Mm.
Mm,
Yeah, I was about to say I feel like they probably would want Cooper, but considering that he went at 19, they probably take him at 20.
Yeah, Cooper really fits that organization.
Real blue collar,
Yeah,
from one black and
mm,
gold to another.
yeah,
mm.
easy swap, easy jersey swap.
Yeah. All right, so this one, I have like two people in mind. So I think for sure interior offensive line is something that you consider between obviously Connor Williams and then Robert Hunt being potentially not coming back. But you also have one of JG's favorite free agent targets available, and Christian Wilkins. So you might want to go ahead and take Johnny Newton, who's sitting right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think because of the investment that they're going to take in, you're insane, JG. I think because of the investment that they're going to make in Tua, I think this is just a situation where they go ahead and they feel like they maybe can get a defensive lineman later in the draft. So they go ahead and take JPJ here.
Mm.
Oh my fault. I was just looking at other players for no reason. Truly, you said
Jackson Powers
yeah.
Johnson.
See, you wasn't even considering Spencer Rattler there.
If they take a quarterback at 21, I think we all might fall out.
Ah,
Me personally, I'd be like, it's about damn time. But
uh,
I
But I'm saying
uh,
we would.
guess
I'm sure we
no,
would be
that's
surprised
exactly
though.
what they need. Um, only thing about that pick that makes pick 24 a lot more difficult for me, but I'm gonna figure that out.
They make. I
Um,
mean, we have a resident Cowboy fan that told you who's going at 24. But I mean,
the guy that just won at 21, that's the guy he said he wanted. Did he say somebody else?
he said somebody else, but he might go right here or at 23, depending on how you and CT read the board.
so difficult sometimes, man.
Got you.
So who's
Who
up?
pick is
Me?
it? Me?
Oh
Oh,
no,
it's
it's not.
me. I feel like this team got to take Clay
Mm.
McKenzie right there for him. McKinstry. Yeah, man. I feel like based on what the team looked like last year, they gotta take a corner. They already have a center fielder in Cam Jurgens, I believe. Uh, Mulata and Lane Johnson still there. AJ Brown, Devontae. They don't have a running back, but do running back really matter? Probably not. If they address that, it won't be till like the third or fourth round.
Let's say there's plenty of running backs available in free agency. So
They drafted so many damn D linemen. I doubt they feel like they need anymore. Hassan Reddick is still technically on the roster. Fletcher Cox probably retire, but they already drafted the Georgia twins, the
yep,
Georgia boys. They still got Josh Sweat. Byard thing got cut, but
yeah,
who
Buyer got
cares? He didn't
cut,
do nothing.
but they might just try to go get
So
CJ.
hmm?
He said they
CJ
might
who?
just try to go get CJ. I think he only signed
CJ
a
who?
1 year deal with the
CJ who?
Lions. Gardner Johnson.
CJ Gardner Johnson? You think you gonna go back? Man, I got to see that to believe that because the way they ended, man, the way they was talking was kind of crazy. If this was 2012, man, I'll tell you, Peyton Wilson, man, that'd be their draft pick. But
Combine
damn,
stand
the
up.
league has caught up. The league has caught up. They found out that linebackers don't matter. So I'm gonna go with Kool-Aid McKinstry here. I feel like just based on what they need a corner. Because last year, boy, it came down to whoever Bradbury is at. They was throwing that. Slade about to be 33. Bradbury's about to be 32. Uh, they drafted some corners late round, but they're the type of players that people on Twitter be like, "Oh wow, what a steal!" But they do nothing for the season. Every year, the Eagles win the draft, but the players they win the draft with don't really do nothing towards the end. Um, so I'm gonna take Kool-Aid. Feel like he's the best pick for what they need and where they're at in their in their system. I wouldn't be surprised with their Georgia love. They take Kamari. To be honest with you, but I'm gonna go with Kool-Aid. Texas on the clock. This is Mingles.
Yeah. Here is the Texans. I think I'm gonna address offensive line.
Mm.
For most of the season, they were able to, I don't want to say hide the deficiencies, but CJ was able to play through it for the most part. They were able to get the ball out quick. But against Baltimore in the playoffs, you really saw the pass rush get home. And I think I'm gonna try to get Troy Faatanu to play right tackle
Hmm.
uh, for the Houston Texans. Troy Faatanu. Here we go.
That's a good.
Okay, so 24.
Um,
Should I troll here or should I really be serious about this pick?
Yeah, I think you should be serious. This means a lot to him.
Okay. So the
if
so the Cowboys fan in question, I know he would want a guy like AD Mitchell here. Um,
Mm,
mm,
so that's an idea for sure. That's an idea.
the
Um,
sassy.
however, with the way
this CD Lamb with the CD Lamb
see, so that's the thing. I could definitely
remix.
see Jerry doing that, but I think if Steven is in his ear like he was like the Johnny Manziel year, I think they don't think that they can bring Tyron Smith back. I think they look at a tackle here. Um, so if that's the case, uh, because he's played on the left side, I think they probably go Graham Barton from Duke at 24.
You think they drafting Graham Barton to play tackle? Mm,
You think he's more of a guard?
I've
yeah,
heard he can play all five positions on the O line, so I'm curious
yeah.
because all I've seen is left tackle,
Well, if he
right?
if he can play all five positions, I think that's even more incentive
Most
for the
people,
Cowboys to
most
do
people
that because
have
they
him
can
as
mix and
a
match. They can mix and match.
interior O line on their board. But hey, who's their current? I know they got Tyler Smith. Maybe they moved Tyler Smith back to tackle.
They've been saying that they move him to tackle, and then they could just put Graham Barton at guard, or they can move um they keep Tyler Smith there and put Graham Barton at tackle. Whatever they feel like is better, but like Brian said, it gives them a certain amount of versatility that they've kind of shown that they really like in their own linemen that they drafted. So that's not a bad pick at all, in my opinion. Um,
It's not, but I'm sure if that if that actually takes place, I'm sure we will be hearing from a certain somebody about why they passed on AD Mitchell. But
He'll be okay.
it's another combo
He'll
for
be all
another day.
I'll just send him your way.
right. Better than me. I was gonna say Tyler Guyton, so you're not that far off. They was getting a tackle. I can tell you that. So,
So
so it's
Rams.
me, right? Yep, Packers. Okay.
Now there's another
When I see
fan with certain interest with this pick.
when I see a team and they running back needs say running back, it kind of bothers me.
Well, apparently
That means
AJ
got
Dillon's
no.
leaving,
If they
so
got running back on there, that means you don't got no real needs.
That's what I'm saying. Like
They
they
put
must be
that on
set.
any team who's good with no needs, man. Yeah, they probably need a running back.
I just don't believe it because I mean, let me actually double check.
it must be a health situation. Because
They saying
like,
Aaron Jones might get cut, man.
but like I'm thinking AJ Dillon's not coming back.
Aaron Jones taking a pay cut and he coming back, man. He always does this every year. He's not leaving.
He ain't
This is interesting because I
getting
feel
man.
like there's really no hole on their offensive side.
I feel like they could technically take a tackle because what's the name? I feel like it's
Bakhtiari?
on the path to retirement.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
gone.
Okay.
yeah, he's
Bakhtiari's
gone.
gone, but their replacement was good.
Yeah,
What's his name?
Elton
Zach
Jenkins
Tom.
is a
Do
left
you
tackle
believe
now, right? Or is he
Do
the
you believe
guard?
that replacement's good enough to not take Mims?
Yeah.
Well, it's your pick,
Zach.
AJ. You're the Packers GM, so you.
I'm the assistant GM though.
Safeties don't get drafted in the first round. So I'm not even looking at Tyler Nuppin. Is that his name?
I think
Decent
it's
season.
Nubin, but I don't know.
He's a fine
I
slot.
would say receivers in need, but they just have so many.
That's what I'm saying.
That's like it'll be
But
hard for any.
there's just so many like
And they got enough
names
guys
that
that like
actually,
fit the
And they
positions
don't
that they
draft
play.
who lad.
would they draft Lad though?
I like lad there. I
I don't
don't
feel like
know.
Lad is much different than the guys they kind of already have.
That's why I like them there. They use all the same guys.
I can see it. I can see it. I would. I don't
Hey
know if
man,
they
you
would
Wait,
know
take him, but I
and
can
didn't they
Bell in
see
the
it.
compare
second
lad
round.
to Devontae? Who said that? Who compared lad to Devontae? I seen that somewhere.
Oh man, I saw Lad get compared to Antonio Brown last week, man, on the
Ah,
Meaning
that's who
Constant
it was.
podcast.
Antonio Brown. Yes.
That route runner.
On the Meaning podcast, and the Meaning agreed. I'm trying to remember who said it. I think it was shit.
I don't remember his name, so I can't. I can't help
Real
you.
mover.
Bothering me, but man, I don't know. Can they take another receiver like that? Another like 6 foot route running type of receiver? How many of those can you really use?
All of them.
Mm, I feel like 80 has to get drafted here, right?
See, I'm
I'm trying to
thinking
look at
that,
the.
but I'm like, yeah,
But on
because
the
I mean, he
It's
could
so
be
draft,
the.
receivers in the first round though.
I'm about to
it's
say this
easy
isn't the
when you can.
greatest like explanation, but like he
Nah,
could be the Christian
I wouldn't
Watson
I
replacement because
don't
he
think
could
it's a
do more than
receiver.
Christian does. So
Is Jair Alexander getting traded, or is that just a false rumor? Offensive
It's tough.
tackle, safety.
they could go BPA, even though Kenny
I'm
Clark
looking
is
at
a
their
D lineman.
needs right now. Uh,
What did D line look like?
they just drafted bro from Georgia last year.
Devon, come
Wyatt.
on, Devontae Wyatt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and they
That was
brought.
last year,
They also
years
got
ago.
Van Ness from Iowa.
Oh yeah, Van Ness last year. Wise year before. I'm not saying can they just keep drafting defensive linemen? That's what stopped me from. I was looking at new and I'm like,
Because I'm
would they
looking at
draft a D
Johnny, I'm like,
lineman
it's
3 years
possible.
in a row? I don't
Because they
know.
already
Is
got
that
Kenny
is that a
Clark.
good
That's why I'm like, I
investment?
don't know if they do that.
I
Now, if they
think.
ran a 4-3, it'd be a little different.
I think interior D line is reasonable considering Kenny Clark is getting a little older. I don't
Is
know.
he? Any like 28? I feel like he's still young.
I mean, when you're 300 pounds, 28 is really like 35.
Is that how it works? Uh,
Yeah.
I just can't. I can't invest in the O line and the D line 3 years in a row. Let me see. He's 28. What's his contract looking like? Kenny Clark contract. Hold on. Oh, that boy free agent. Wait, what the fuck type of contract is this?
Wait, huh? Hold on, let me check. Let me check.
This joint got he got void years for the next 3 years. What is this? technically he's a free
together,
agent.
man.
No, you actually got to look at this contract. I'm really confused with what I'm looking at because
I'm
technically
looking.
he's
I
a free
got you.
agent.
So he's got one.
Technically he's a
He's
free agent
got
in
this last
2025.
year, and then he got void years after that. But it's not saying what his void years are.
The fuck's not this fake ass contract? This is his entry level contract? No, it can't be. This had to be an extension.
No, this is an extension.
What the hell?
Or is it? Yeah, it's got
No,
to be
he's
an
still on
extension because it
roster.
can't be. It can't be like
He's
a
still
5th-year deal.
They restructured his contract last offseason. Added
Okay,
the void.
that's why.
Uh,
Because it
So the
says
void.
I
4 years,
expect him.
70 on the thing. So yeah, they must
So I
have the
think this
void
coming
years must
season.
have been to spread the contract out.
Yeah, I think this coming season is probably his last actual year of the deal.
Yeah, because it's saying he's a free agent in 2025. So yeah, this is the last year.
Is it too
But they talk
early
about
for
extension. So yeah, I was wilding, I
too
guess.
early for bro? I think it's too early for Braden Fisk.
You just said no D line.
Considering the way the combine went, he might have played himself into
Oh,
the end of the first. But I still think
You take
Johnny's sitting right there.
I say be a man and do it. I think he better than Devontae Wyatt. Devontae Wyatt ain't moved me since he been in the league,
I'm
bro.
trying to think though, like how does this D
Kenny
line
Clark is the
work with
only thing that might
Wyatt?
keep me from drafting him. Outside of
Wyatt,
that,
Newton, and
I'm
Clark. How
probably
does that
taking
D line
Johnny
even
here
look? That's
if
like,
I'm not going receiver.
isn't that like 3 dudes over 300 pounds?
Oh well, Devontae Wyatt going to have to come off the bench.
If I say situational use,
They're not the team to
rotations.
do that. They like to play their young guys.
I mean, you could draft a linebacker. I know they can. They got Quay Walker, but Quay Walker ain't been that good.
It was okay last season. The first season,
Would
God,
that be a
God
Peyton?
off.
Would that be a Peyton Wilson pick if we're going linebacker?
That's the only one I would draft in the first round.
Damn, this shit is difficult. Huh?
I would try to phone a friend, but I don't think that's necessary.
Ooh, I could just take
What do
Jared
their
Verse
edge rushers
all
looking
day.
like?
But they got edge rushers. They drafted dude from Iowa last year, and they
Oh
already
yeah, they got
have
Rashawn Gary. Yeah, so you don't need an
yeah.
edge.
Damn.
See, someone like
That's
Jared
why
Verse
they,
would be nice if you think he could
that's
be a
why they
true
got running back
NBA.
on here. This is they don't got no real needs.
And they all young.
Yes, like you wanna develop them. I don't know, man.
Any supplemental stuff
Okay,
might
man,
come
give me
from the
Mims,
draft.
man.
I mean, not
What
the
a sick.
draft, from free agency.
Suckermanius Mims, man. I'm just gonna, based off the talent I've seen, I feel like he can be a real left tackle of the future. So I'm gonna go with
Okay.
that.
Hey, Buccaneers, man. All right, let me look.
Yeah, I didn't say running back, but I also say 6 more needs, which is interesting to me.
Running back is so false because they have Rashad White.
I
We
was
all
about
know
to
that's
say, we got Rashad.
false.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So if I'm the Buccaneers, I got Chris Godwin, I got Mike Evans, and a Jordan. Right. If I'm truly giving Baker a chance, I want to give him as many weapons as possible.
Right. Where are you going with this?
I think it's time.
The true technician?
What? No, you're not gonna do it.
Yep, keep scrolling. Keep scrolling.
Oh.
Where is he? There you go. There you go. You see that name? It is time to get Xavier Legette off the board.
This is a joke before I hit the draft button.
No, I think he
Draft.
Bro, he's
Draft him
behind.
now.
He's
Draft.
behind.
this is what
He's behind.
This is what Chris
Okay, all
would
right,
do.
all
This is
right,
what
all right.
Bengals would do, man.
All right.
Hey, we in the draft
Yeah.
room celebrating right
I
now.
definitely thought he was going to take Lad there, the way he was building that up.
I got to stick to my board. Man.
Gotcha.
Good.
That's my wide receiver 4 at pick 26. I can't be mad at that.
Ryan, I guess you're on the clock.
So JG, I'm gonna ask you, since you would be the Cardinals fan in this situation. If we take Johnny Newton at 27, how are you feeling as a Cardinals fan?
Fantastic. Honestly, I thought he was gonna take Jared Verse because they just cut bro like last week, but he didn't take Jared Verse. So Jared Verse is also a good option.
They cut
Either
who?
one.
Bruh, first of
They
all,
cut
got my edge 3, so he wasn't even in consideration.
They cut what the fuck is his name?
It was between Pork Chop and
Pork Chop.
Yeah, I don't know if Chop is falling this far in the actual draft, but
hey, it's a lot of people falling, man.
Yeah.
This is how it happens.
But I feel like I'm gonna just go BP. I'm gonna go BPA here. I've already consulted with the Cardinals fan here. I feel like we're both on the same page here, so we'll just go PBA and we'll go ahead and just take Johnny Newton off the board.
God is good.
So you walked out this draft with Marvin Harrison and Johnny Newton out of a.
Wow, I
We may
said
not
that
see Jay
last.
Z for like 2 or 3 more days because he'll be
I
off
said that yesterday,
celebrating.
the day before, and then Mingles laughed at me like it was crazy, and y'all just let it happen again. So what does that really say about y'all? You know what I'm saying? What does that really say?
Says that I'm drafting my own race. It's Brian who's really messing it up. That's what it
How do I
says.
Oh,
mess
you
it
didn't
up?
draft it.
Right.
Clear like that.
I feel like you purposely didn't draft him so he would get to the Cardinals, but it's okay.
The
You don't
How
live
could
only
I
by
do
the
that?
only one where I was considering him was 21. Outside of that, I didn't see
I
anywhere
consider
else.
him at 25, but I just don't see a team with three niggas over 300 that's supposed to be on
I
the
say you see
safety
me trying
line.
to tell him to pick him at 25, so it's not like I tried to
Like, that'd have
congratulate
been
him.
wild. You wouldn't be
Oh well.
surprised if it's at 25, but I would have to see it to believe it because I need to see what type of D line rotation that is.
Honestly, I think that might be a prime. 25 might be the prime place for like someone to try to trade back up and get a quarterback.
About to
Could
say,
be.
man.
If you
Bo
really want
Nix
that
right
fifth year
here.
option
I
on one of
mean,
them,
Michael Penix right here.
like I could
Nah,
easily see the
I don't.
Giants being like, all right, let's trade. If they really believe in a quarterback, being like, let's trade like the Seattle pick and maybe a fourth rounder for that 25, and then maybe a third if we need that.
Yes. Okay. Now we can really go to work here. It's between two players right here for the Bills, man. You get tired Guyton. They need a offensive tackle. Or to AD Mitchell. Because Gabe Davis is finally getting the fuck out of
I was
there
about to say,
after
me and
doing
JG had Brian Thomas Jr. as like the ideal fit in the wide receiver
yeah, but
episode, but
You
where
had to
Brian
get
Thompson.
him up out of there.
yeah, but he
Yeah,
already got
he
picked.
went at
But
17. Yeah. All right. Of course. What a excellent mock draft we got here.
We cooking.
Cooking some bullshit. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see.
I mean, they're gonna need that Stephon Diggs replacement because he's not clearing 800 this year.
Yeah, let me take AD Mitchell, man. Let me not overthink it.
See,
okay, Detroit
see.
Lions.
Mm.
Bengals run the clock.
Oh, this me? Oh, they done
Huh?
messed up again. Let me check my draft board. I might have to go BPA here. I don't love any of
Can't
the receivers
fuck
here
this up, bro.
because
The needs are clearly
because they're saying Jameson's gonna have a heavy role in the offense, so I think they're believing in him this year. Let me see. My best player available is currently Chop Robinson, but unfortunately, as a GM of the Lions, I am a James Houston believer, so I'm gonna continue to scroll down. Ah, y'all might
Are you
hate me.
serious?
Y'all might hate me again, man. Y'all might
Oh,
hate
he's
me,
right there on the screen, bro. He's the
bro.
best player available.
Stop talking about Jared Verse. That's not edge 3.
My
You keep getting caught up in that combine. Who was playing DB for the Lions in the playoffs? Who was playing cornerback? Who were those men? Yeah. All
It
right.
was what
So what we're gonna
Sutton and
yeah. So what we're
Brian
gonna
playing
do?
slot basically.
Yeah, we're gonna address that, and I'm gonna go with my what is it? CB5 Ennis Straw. Very versatile DB for the Lions. Plug and play anywhere in the defensive backfield. I'm gonna go with Ennis Straw. You see the hold on. Scroll back down to the snaps by alignment. You see he has plenty of snaps in the slot. Of course, plenty of snaps in the corners as well, and he has a few in the box. So, yep, Lions need a versatile DB because they had a bunch of randoms out there.
bunch of randoms out there is crazy.
And this record show, good pick. That's a good pick. That might be my best pick of the draft. All honesty.
All right, so we're at 30. Um, I'm definitely looking at a potential edge rusher here, kind of like CT with the Chop Robertson pick. Maybe receive. Well, let me see what the receivers are, so I can determine what we doing right now.
Hmm.
Mm, mm.
Because
Yeah.
that is sitting right there, but
Chill.
ooh.
He's going now.
You know what? Todd Monken is the offensive
You want me to keep
coordinator.
going down, all right?
Oh
I
man.
don't know if Odell's coming back.
Mm.
So
Mm?
even though I was looking at Chad Robinson as a pick here, I'm gonna go ahead
Mm?
and reunite people. The Baltimore Ravens
What do
select
you mean by that?
Lad McConkey out of Georgia.
All right. All right.
That's
That
what I'm
hurt a
talking
little
about.
bit. All right.
I don't know how Caleb will feel about that pick, but it was either it was like
Oh, I
Chop.
like
I
it
was thinking
personally.
You
Chop,
don't
but
know
I'm
no
like
better.
they already got enough young pass rushers.
He ain't started studying like us yet. He don't know no better.
I mean,
49ers.
me personally, right? I see their needs, but based on the value, I feel like letting Jerverse straight up just not make it in the first
I
round
don't think that's
would
a
really
yeah. No,
would
I'm
really
about to
be
say
a shame.
in the real draft. I don't think I'm sure Jared's probably getting picked by now. Like he might go at 27, like you were saying, instead of Johnny. But that was just a BPA pick
Now,
for me.
thing is, if this was a draft with normal human beings and not dudes that draft shit like this, Xavier Leggett and Brian Thomas at 17, I'd probably take a receiver or Tyler Gunn here. But
I feel like
since
30.
Jared Verse is here
Yeah, I was about to say
and
either
Chase
him or
Young is
Chop. I
getting
feel like that's the perfect pick for them.
sent to God knows where, I'm gonna go ahead and take Jared Verse here. Um, who knows? He could be mid, but for pick 31 in the first round for a projected top 16 pick, I'm gonna take Jared Verse. I think Charles will also be a good option here, but you see the gap
Him
between
being ranked
Robinson
44th is kind of crazy.
and Verse. Yeah, this will be updated soon,
I hope
hopefully.
so because
Because
our big board and their big board looks a lot different when it comes to those edge rushers.
Well, our big board is correct, so that's a difference.
once again, look at our pick 26 and really think: is our big board really correct? Is it really right?
Is it me again?
You
Kansas City Chiefs. How convenient. I got my two teams. I got my three teams all in the same draft. The Commanders, Chargers, and Chiefs. So, if I'm the Chiefs, I'm thinking receiver. I'm thinking edge rusher. I'm thinking a lot of different things. But, nah. Too fast. Too
I'm
fast.
about to say he's still
right?
holding out hope for
You know,
Kadarius,
I
so
really
you
want my
can't
boy
take.
Keon Coleman. I really want my boy Keon Coleman to make it into the first round of the draft. But
The Chiefs?
I don't love the fit with the Chiefs, so I'm not going to take him here. So
Oh,
I'm looking at Chop Robinson here. I feel like the Chiefs kind of still need that Frank Clark replacement because Frank Clark wouldn't really do much in the regular season, but would always show up in the playoffs. So I think to end the first round, I got to stick with my board. I think Chop Robinson is the highest rated player I have on my board left.
Yeah,
I'm going to Chop Robinson.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly with that pick. I think the only other person maybe is like Fisk or Sanders, if they wanted to do that. But yeah, I think that Chop in that situation works because you can use him as a situational pass rusher early, and then find a way to go from there. So I
That's
agree. I
beautiful.
definitely agree with that last pick.
That draft we just did is beautiful, man.
I
I'm
might have to
really
look at some
ashamed of what
graphics,
we
man.
put
We might
together
have
today.
cooked up. I don't know. I don't
Oh
know.
man,
I thought it was cooking, man, to pick 26, man. I can't believe we let that happen. We got to add vetoes or something, 'cause that shit's
Well,
ridiculous,
I was like,
man.
we
I
can't
can't
pick
believe you
for
did
him,
that.
JG.
I can't believe you did that, dude.
what is the issue?
Bro, that team has actual needs at edge defender, and you didn't take Chop or Jared Verse, man. You let
Uh,
Jared Verse and Chop Robinson go to the defending conference champions. Come on, man. You're sick. You know damn well that's crazy.
they need to build around Baker. Build for Baker.
What?
Yep,
Build
build.
around Baker? Did you re-say that? You're not
You know
serious.
how much they about to pay him? Yes, they need to build around Baker.
Stop,
You
stop
pay all
saying
that
it.
money, you better give him people to throw to.
Stop saying build around Baker. Nobody says that. Baker Mayfield.
I like that. Yeah, I like this. They addressed edge and free agency.
So no Michael Penix in the first round, huh?
he'll
It wasn't really a spot for him. I didn't
yeah. So
feel
when we
there
do
was
the
no
two,
trade
if we do the
other
two
than
round mock
20.
draft, then Michael Penix would have been off the board. But I mean, he wasn't even in our top 35 on the big board, so I can't be upset.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm not mad at it. I think it's a beautiful mock draft. I think everybody has their own methods of drafting. But you know,
Everybody has their own.
we saw a lot
I
of
think the
players
only one
slide.
that I'm questioning myself as a pick, like the pick that I made myself, is probably pick 9. Outside of that, I think I did okay.
Even still, I don't think that's a bad pick. Kind of matches what they need, but
I don't think anybody made a bad pick.
not anybody.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Anybody want to discuss anything, or we could be done. I think the people have enjoyed this mock draft. Unless anybody has any rebuttals, I think this is a great draft that we put together here.
No, I think we did a good job. I think the board played out a little bit differently probably than we would expect, based
Yeah.
on probably what our own rankings are. But outside of that, I think we did a pretty good draft. Now it probably won't look like this when we get to April 25th. But hey, we're what, a month and a half out, and this is
Yeah.
basically like after the combine. So I think we did pretty good for this first mock draft.
No,
I
that's
think
really good
so.
to me.
And at the end of the day, when you're doing stuff like this, some people value film, some people value, the combine. But at the end of the day, traits triumph. Thank you for watching. This has been another edition of the Traits Triumph Draft Podcast. We appreciate you guys watching. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm Christian, here with Brian, SportsFan as well. Leave a like on the Instagram as well once you see this draft. And stay tuned for the next play.
Oh, give your comments. Please give your comments. Share it.
Please.
We want your opinions.